Okay, so quick disclaimer before this starts. I have no problem with the Discord app itself. I have no problem with the developers of the app. I have no problem with the community of the app. However, due to certain events, I have made the decision to permanently delete my Discord account. Now, this whole story actually begins about 2 years ago, and I've actually kind of been sitting on this story for a while because I was debating whether I should even tell it, whether it even was a good story that I would want to be on this channel. But I've thought about it a lot, and I think that this is something that I should say, and that while it might not be an easy story, it is an important one. So my first Discord experience was completely harmless. I first installed it because my friend Lion Galaxy, who I only knew on the internet, had wanted to talk to me and couldn't install Skype because, this was back in like 2015 or something when people actually used Skype. So I installed this random new app that I had never heard of called Discord, and I talked to him on that sometimes. And gradually after that, I started using Discord more and more to talk to people that I didn't know to play Minecraft because it was actually a way better platform than Skype for a lot of reasons. So it really wasn't a problem for like 3 years. However, I remember the moment where it did become a problem, and that was when I created my first Discord server. Now, the reason I did this was for a live stream. I had like 200 subscribers, and I wanted to open the stream to public chat so that the viewers could talk to me. And I basically just made this temporary server. I left the link to it in a completely different video just for fans to come and watch. And then suddenly I ended up with way more fans than I was expecting, and I leave the Discord server one day with there being like 10 people on it, and then I come back like 3 days later and there's like 300 people. There's admins, there's mods, there's Discord helpers, there's a whole bunch of ranks that I didn't create. There are people who are admins that I don't even know who they are. There's a bunch of bots, and it's just this chaotic Discord server that has just sprung from an accidental video that I didn't even mean to get that many views. I was kind of just thrust into this like Discord server owner position that I hadn't even been expecting. And at this time I was a helper. I had just started doing YouTube a lot more, and I really did not know what I was doing. Now, just because I was the leader of the server or whatever doesn't mean it was technically my responsibility to deal with these people, because I hadn't exactly asked for that. But I felt like it was a moral obligation for me to interact with all of these people who were trying to contact me, because after all, the server had my name on it, and they were coming in because of me and not because of anyone else, really. Now, I'm aware that most YouTubers do not interact with every single person who tries to contact them, because that would be dumb. That would be insane. That's not even possible to do if you have like any large fan base. But I didn't really consider myself to be a YouTuber at the time. I was a helper, and my helper philosophy was that if someone messaged me, I had to help them, I had to meet their needs, I had to get their questions answered, I had to make sure that they got the help that they needed because they were messaging me as a representative of Hypixel as a whole. So it was almost like that Discord server was an extension of my helper role on Hypixel, which wasn't exactly true. So it all started with the server, right? However, my main issue with Discord actually had nothing to do with that specific server. My real issue with Discord came from the fact that I had my DMs open, and I was responding to every single direct message that anyone sent to my Discord. Now, the really unhealthy thing about the way I conducted myself as a helper was the fact that if anyone left my direct messages unsatisfied, I felt like I had failed. I felt like I was a bad helper, and I felt like the idea of helping people was my only source of self-worth. If I felt like I had not adequately performed my job as a helper, I would feel terrible. So basically, I answered every single direct message, no matter how many I got. So there were some mornings where I would, clear out my DMs, go to sleep, and I'd wake up, and then there would be 50 more. Now, the types of messages that I got on Discord were very, very unique. So first of all, I got a lot of helper questions, like, ban appeals that were in the wrong section, how can I become a helper? I actually really liked answering those. Just random questions about the server rules and whatnot. I also got YouTube questions. I also got questions about certain videos, about when I was going to upload again, and, just general fans just messaging me, asking if this is the real Linehead and everything. And basically the common thread with every message that I got on Discord was that the moment I responded, they were really surprised. It was like they didn't expect me to have time for their message, and the act of responding seemed to really touch people. And just that is what kept me going to Discord. That's what kept me always opening Discord before I did anything else. It's the fact that when I responded to a personal message, people would give me a reaction that made me feel like I was actually making a difference and making them happy in real life. And on top of that, being put in that position, it almost felt like I was this old wise sage that people would go to for advice. And as a 17, 18-year-old, that was really, really satisfying. But also, the more I kept doing it, the more draining it was. Just because I wanted that reaction, I wanted that satisfaction of making a person happy, I would basically say yes to everything I possibly could say yes to. I ended up with, 5,000 friends on my friend list, completely maxing it out. I would try to party everyone who asked me, so I'd end up with 50-person parties. And it was really satisfying. It was really satisfying in the sense that I felt validated, I felt important. But at the same time, that was really mentally and emotionally draining, and that feeling of validation was addicting. And I pretty much couldn't go a day without just going on Discord and helping people. So I couldn't function without that validation anymore. That brings me to the actual main reason I quit Discord, which is the fourth type of message that I would get, which was the most rare but the hardest to deal with. And that was when people would message me about actual life struggles. And I'm not sure what led people to message me in particular about that, but I can only guess that the fact that I had a helper tag in front of my name, the fact that I had videos on YouTube where I tried to address some of my own life struggles, which made it appear to certain people that I had everything together and that I knew the answers. Now, even then, I'm still to this day confused about why so many people messaged me about life issues. But at the time, when I would read a message like that, it would make me happy. It would fill me with more self-validation than any other type of message that I was getting. But people were coming to me with some very hard questions. And let me just say that fixing a broken person is not a part of the helper training. It's not really a part of any training. It's something that no human can do. It's something that only God is capable of. But because I had this need for validation, I had this need to feel like I was improving people's lives, I felt like if I wasn't able to fix the broken people who were messaging me, that I was a failure, that I wasn't worth it, and that I didn't even deserve to call myself a helper if I wasn't able to help these people. There were times where I wanted to just step away from it all, but it never felt like it was okay for me to do that, because I felt like if I were to step away, that I was basically just leaving these people, that even on top of school, on top of my real life friendships, on top of things that I needed to do in life, it felt like my first obligation was to those hurting people. I think I came to a breaking point when I realized that my own mental and emotional state was not much better than the people who I was trying to help. And that made me realize that I definitely was not qualified to be doing what I was doing. That's what made me realize in spring of 2019 that I really needed to step away from Discord. And in doing so, I also stepped away from YouTube and Hypixel in general. And really, that's ultimately what led to me being demoted for being inactive, because I just knew it wasn't healthy. I knew that the way I was practicing my helper role was not healthy. I remember the last message that I responded to on Discord was from an angry fan who was ranting at me for not uploading and almost shaming me for having not uploaded. And now I know that that's like 1% of fans, but that message was the last straw. So after that message, I closed Discord, decided that I didn't want to deal with it that day and that I was going to take a break from Discord for a day. But, that day ended, and the next day, I didn't really feel like opening again. So the days turned into weeks, the weeks turned into years, and I've gone back to Discord a few times since then, but I'm proud to say that I never fell back into that validation trap again. If there's one thing that I've learned from this, it's that when I see a broken person, it's not my job to fix them. But the one thing that anyone can do, no matter what rank they have, is to notice that person and just let them know that they're not invisible and they're not alone. Thanks for watching, and remember, as always, follow your dream.